political one is that the condition that allows learner to control, to connect between, let's say, what they have been doing and also institutional context within which learning takes place. Those are, or it is definition that I can quote how I would like to identify the word of autonomy, autonomous means. And then the next one, yeah, of course, as learners to learn a language in this case. So I also try to connect with the language learning strategy, and I quote it from Wendon and Rubin, Richards and Platt, saying that I think everyone, especially for students, bachelor students, perhaps you already remember, or perhaps you can memorize this, and I think it is not really to memorize anyway. Any sets of operations, step plans, routines used by learners to facilitate the obtaining, storage, retrieval, and use of information. Or in this case, Richards also identify language learning strategy. Thank you. As intentional behavior and thought used by learners during learning. So it is to help them, of course, the strategy assists them to be autonomous. And all right, this is quite long. I think I can skip this because I would like to show the point of our research, but let's see a little bit from Oxford. So in general, language learning strategy, it's divided to two, what we call by direct and indirect strategy. And if it is specifically can be divided to 6 altogether, or what we call by metacognitive, affective, social, cognitive, memory, and compensation strategies. And I think I skipped this one. All right. And why I pay attention only the cognitive strategies, because one of the findings, I mean, the dominant one will be in the cognitive strategies. Okay, this one is indirect one. I don't think I need to explain this. And one more, as the let's say the theory, the underlying theory of what the learning is in this pandemic outbreak. So teachers, or we ourselves, we need to, how can I say, to create such situation. Yeah, of course, it is in the form of activities, in the form of tasks, in which the 21st century skills, or what we call by 4 C's, begitu ya. The first one is, okay, this one is communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. This is important, everyone, or I can say that this can be, especially for the collaboration, yeah, it is really, if I can say, building our awareness, our character, our, we aware also with others. So I think the definition is quite clear, and I would like also to share this, so don't worry, everyone, if you interested in the 21st century skills. And these are also the instrument protocols that we use in analyzing the data. So the instrument protocol, the dimension, there are 6, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, 6 altogether. And in this case, we put, let's say, we categorize which belongs to challenge, and then which belongs to opportunities. and the result is this one. Okay. Research method. So it is a mixed methods, quantitative, qualitative, with the Google form, and also students writing in the form of, I think, paragraph, yeah. And then the research side, UST, UITM, and also TRU, and all together 378 students in the second and fourth semester students, but mostly I think the fourth semester students. So just very small, the second semester students. Okay, and if I would like this one to describe, I don't know whether it is clear or not for you. I mean the color. I think I need to differ the color, yeah. But it seems, it seems like the same one, which belongs to strongly agree, agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. My apology. 24%, they said that they find difficulty in, sebentar, sorry. Okay. English lecturing, 24%. So they find difficulty in listening to English lecturing, and also casual conversation. And in reading, the problem is on 16% saying that they got trouble in reading textbooks, and 32% saying that they find also difficulties in reading journal articles and ebook. Let's say the next one. This one is for speaking and writing. And for speaking one, to me, this one is also amazing finding, yeah, since only small portion, like 39% of students, they find difficulty to face-to-face English communication with classmates and teachers. And also 48%, they find difficulties in formal and informal speaking. That is for speaking. And for writing, 60%, they got difficulties in grammar, and 42 in paragraph writing. That is for their difficulties of speaking and writing. And then, now this is also interesting, everyone. We put like not the selection here, but we let the students to write down what actually the social media they like. So if you can see here, the top one, the top rank is Instagram. So Bapak Ibu, if you still do not have your Instagram, so please have one. And also WhatsApp group. I think WhatsApp group is let's say common one, yeah, for also most of us to communicate each other. I mean, in our school, with students, with colleagues, for example. And hang on, 40. I try to. Okay. Facebook is 46%. They use Facebook also in learning, and then 44 with Telegram, and a small number on, can I say online, with Line as their media to learn. And the next one, talking about how or what their strategies. in learning in the pandemic outbreak. So mostly everyone, if you see here about, I think the dominant one is that this one, yeah. Watching English television program without reading the subtitles. So it is 52%. And listening to English songs and also listening to the plenary speakers like now in the international or national webinar or virtual meeting. In other words, I can say that they learn also not not in the time in which they have a class. I mean, they have a class, they have a virtual class with their teachers, with their lecturers. And then the reading strategy. So 51% they agree that reading to the English subtitles on the movie, and then reading also compulsory textbook. This one is the highest one. And reading English instruction on games. All right, and then this is also interesting. At the time, we asked students what kind of topic they prefer to when they have like their learning, and they tend to say that they like online shopping. I think this is the same also, yeah, with emak-emak juga, yeah, I guess. Online shopping, and the second one is fashion. No, sorry. The second one is traveling and fashion, followed by game and also comics. So this one is the frequent topics they like to discuss. And all right. Sorry, this is quite small, I guess, yeah. This is the instrument protocol that I used that we use in analyzing, the data in the form of paragraph. So this is talking about 21st century skills. The first one is creativity and innovation. By reading their paragraph, reading closer their paragraph, and then we divide it to challenges and opportunities. So it's like this one, construct knowledge, and then the opportunity is creative thinking and construct also knowledge and communication, collaboration, research and information fluency, critical thinking, digital citizenship, and also technology operations and concepts. So if you remember this one, sorry, I need to. Now, this one, so the dimension, we categorize as 6, beginning from creativity and innovation. So what they answer, and then we try to put in, in the table in accordance with the indicators like creative thinking, blah, blah, blah. And again, it is one by one. All right, so I think we are closer to our conclusion, in which the 21st century skills, it's all there. The students, our students, they are not only our students, I mean students in UITM and also students in Tepsatira Jabat University. So they create their creativity. They do creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and also problem solving. So, the problems, it's so colorful, if I can say. And well, okay, the conclusion, after analyzing the data, then we come to conclusion that um, the students, they do their direct strategy, and their direct strategy is on the cognitive strategy, practicing, and the practicing is practicing naturalistically through English songs, watching English television program, listening international webinars. So it is, or they are activities the students doing to achieve or to be autonomous, to be agile learners, except except for live discussion. Yeah, of course, this one is in English. Yeah, live discussion and simple and short English writing. You know, in other words, so they like to have their social media, but they use or they write a simple text, or apa ya namanya ya? Update status. Nah, update status. So it's a very short one. It's simple for their writing in their Instagram or their Facebook. And okay, the topic that they like very much is online shopping, traveling, fashion, and the 21st century skills. It's all there. So they have been doing the activities, though perhaps they do not know or they do not realize. In fact, by looking at or by reading a closer look on the data, so we conclude that the 21st century skills, they have been done or they have been performed by English language learners to be or becoming their agile learners. Okay, I think that's it for my topic this morning. And let's have a discussion. Thank you. Salam dan bahagia.
Thank you for
Over
the
to you.
sharing.
Sorry. Thank you, Mbak Arum.
Yeah, I also just read several participants in the chat box told us about salam and sajana. Ya, teman siswa Ibu,
Yeah.
about salam dan bahagia ya Bu ya.
Yes, salam.
Always great with that salam. Okay, so it really opens our mind, Bu, on how to
Thank you.
put a trust in our students as well, that actually they can also being the kind of the agile learners.
Yes.
Yeah, especially a surprising one is on the productive skills. They
Mhm.
can perform it better. They can
Yeah.
perform it best, yeah, Bu, yeah.
Especially is in status updating,
Yeah. They are really active in
Yeah.
social media. Yeah, well, actually, there are several questions already dropped in the chat box, but
Thank you.
actually, I think that we are going to keep it later
Okay.
on in the end of the session. I
Yeah.
mean, in the question and answer session, yeah, Bu, yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Thank you once again, Bu Yuyun,
Thank
for the
you.
inspiring. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the committee, I would like to say sorry for the inconvenience, especially about the live streaming on the YouTube and also the Facebook. Now we have fixed that, and hopefully that the participants can enjoy this webinar also from the live streaming on YouTube and also the Facebook. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to invite our second speaker, Mr. Marcus Budira Harja at D. Mr. Marcus Budira Harja at D is a lecturer at English Language Education Study Program, Universitas Sanata Dharma, Yogyakarta. He obtained his doctoral degree from at D in Curriculum and Instruction, School of Education in Loyola University, Chicago, Illinois, USA. concentrating on professional teacher development. In 2009, he earned his Master of Education in Instructional Leadership in Loyola University, Chicago, Illinois, and on 2003, he got his Master of Education in Language, Literacy, and Cultural Studies, School of Education, Boston University, USA. Beside lecturing, he is also a trainer carried out for developing English teaching and learning and school leadership as well as education policy consulting taking place in various regions in Indonesia. On 2020, he becomes consultant of tuition-free education program in Blitar. And on 2019, he became a consultant of the educational master plan of Magelang Regency 2020 until 2025. However, before listening to his presentation, I am inviting you to deliver your questions to the speaker in the chat box. Please mention your name and state to which presenter you address the questions. As a gentle reminder also, during this webinar, you may turn on your webcam but mute the microphone. Now, let's welcome Mr. Markus Budira Harja at D with his presentation entitled In Search of Socio-Culturally Relevant Curriculum, Debunking Learner Autonomy.
Thank you, Mbak Arum. It's a nice reunion, I think, with you. And later with Mbak Restu, because she was my classmate back to long time ago. Probably you were not born yet anyway. So it's a great honor for me to be here with you. And certainly this is a great moment because as usual, as a lecturer, we need to be doing multitasking. Like Bu Yuyun, I think you have your 2 Zooms available right now because you have to be in other activity just like me. So thank you, Mbak Arum. I'm so glad also with Bu Yuyun and Bu Ragawati and Mbak Restu. And again, for Mas Daniel for allowing me to be here. So I will be happy to start very quickly. So let me share my slides. Is it visible then?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Arum. So my title of this presentation is In Search of Socioculturally Relevant Curriculum, Debunking Learner Autonomy. So why is it so? And here we go. Before I go further, I will set out the journey for the day with you all because most of the participants, that's what I heard from Pak Daniel, that most are students. So I will certainly situate my conversation in response to your day-to-day challenges and also the realities that are present in front of you. So by the end of the presentation, participants are able to better understand how I attempted to create my classes socio-culturally relevant. So what does it mean? A little quiz, learning about the vocabulary, what is meant by to debunk. So to debunk means to expose the falseness or hollowness of an idea or belief. Here's the case. I do not buy the idea of learner autonomy. I want to share my perspective. Why? Because we are by nature social. And here's the example from Paul Emmerich I got from his website. And there is a problem with the westernized perspective of reality. Because back to 1600, if you remember the theory of enlightenment, René Descartes one of the French philosophers argue that we can differentiate between our body and mind, emotion and cognition, and so on and so forth. And we can see right now that the distinctions, the dualism between mind and body, emotion and cognition, bad and good, and so on and so forth, are basically an example of, let's call it fallacy, logical fallacies. In Indonesian, it's called sesat pikir. Why? Because it is a simplified way of thinking, meaning to say that a learner autonomy is not present at all. Learner autonomy is it's certainly not the case. So why? Paul Emerich said that when we hold that belief, there will be isolationism. There is a loneliness of freedom because we are on ourselves. And it is true here in this context, the concept of and the reality of pandemic COVID-19 make us lonely all the time, and it is so depriving our social origin. And that's the reason why we need to balance individualism and collectivism, and how we need to engage in personalization. First, of course, by creating or building values, norms, and knowledge within the classroom culture. This is what I want to share with you all. And the second one is making the shared values and common knowledge in the class to leverage or to increase the social learning, to continue to grow. So throughout this conversation, I will share the concept of social learning. And then the last one is certainly to ensure that at the same time, the learning process also to nurture the development of identities, motivations, and uniqueness, a unique sense of self-worth. So these are all the rationale that I have in my mind related to this little project. So this is a little review of my struggles back to March 16th this year. And I have certainly a lot of questions, you know. I have a lot of tensions and contradictions, contestations, ambiguities, conflicts throughout the online classes. And I kept asking myself, what can I do? What will I do? How did I cope with the tensions, contradictions, contestations, ambiguities, and conflicts in online classes? So to guide this research and for today's conversation, I propose this question. What learning and or instructional dynamics have I elaborated so as to encourage learning engagement during the absence of direct encounters of this pandemic COVID-19? So this is going to be the underlying orientation of what we are going to work on. And instead of believing that life can be simplified into duality, into heart and mind, into emotion and cognition, bad or good, some kind of dichotomistic way of thinking, I am about to embrace something different. That's from Engstrom, 1987. Well, basically, Engstrom developed this theory from Vygotsky back to 1920s. So it's been 100 years ago. And the basic principles of cultural historical activity theory, first, all actions, my actions, are social in origin. And all my actions are mediated by tools. And the primary ones certainly related to the pandemic COVID-19 is the cell phone, internet connection, computer, paper, books, and many kinds of things. And related to the secondary, it's related to language, ideas, thoughts, linguistic skills. And I need to tell you that I love writing. I love problematizing. I love writing in blogs and so on and so forth. And certainly, these are all my what I will call it as a lot of tricks in my bags. You know, it has allowed me to bring a lot of ideas into this context. And in accomplishing all my tasks, I will draw much from the existing tools, rules, community, and division of labor so as to create meanings. So this is the framework for activity theory. Here, well, basically, can I annotate here? Wait, no. Okay, doesn't matter. So basically, this is the concept, the triangle, that my position as a subject, in order to do something with the object, must be mediated by tools. Okay, and also by rules, by community, and division of labor. I will utilize this triangle to elaborate how I engage myself to work on the classes that I engage. And the subject here refers to I as an instructor, and the object is certainly the class, with the goals of to identify, clarify, and problematize tensions, contradictions, conflicts, ambiguities, and contestations. My focus is to describe the activity systems of my own class. And this is certainly what it's going to look like. The elements of activity systems, first, rules, tools, rules, community, division of labor, and object. So I will tell a little bit about me, myself, you know, as a subject. This is my cultural, historical self. As an instructor, I really realized the challenges of conducting a class without direct interactions with my students. It was my belief that absence of social encounters would only create a high degree of isolationism. And therefore, I have anticipated such unprecedented challenges. Long before, not long before, but a couple of months before the pandemic being very severe in Indonesia. Personally, in response to Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, this is the policy from the ministry, the freedom, January 24th, I came to believe that lecturers must embrace technology. And I will describe it as how to be YouTubers. And I ended up following a YouTube channel from a professor of Georgia State University. And he elaborates the book written by Bowman and Deal related to reframing of institutions. His videos are in fact very plain, simple, and naturalistic, but I enjoyed them so much. I've learned a lot, and a sense of self-efficacy grew well within me. And this is what I can say to myself, while I can make similar videos. And a few days after March 16, after we started to employ work from home, school from home, I already uploaded my YouTube videos for my classes. That's my subjectivity, my cultural, historical self. That is the beginning. And then, how about my relation with the I, as a subject, and tools, and with the object? And this is the contestations, the conflicts, the ambiguities, and the challenges and contestations that I have. I need to tell you that I'm good at utilizing current technology. That's the primary tools. And I'm very good at writing down my ideas. That's secondary tools. I wrote a lot of text. I love writing for a long time. And I posted kind of 219 articles in Kompasiana until now, but it's been 10 years ago. And I'm comfortable also at experimenting ideas and taking risks. And that's the secondary tools. And I'm happy doing something new and without necessarily being afraid of being criticized or critiqued. Okay, but I'm not good at editing videos. Therefore, this is the way out. I sought some helps. And my son is tech savvy. He has always an answer for my problems. Recording, editing, putting no copyright sounds to avoid ethical breaches, and so on and so forth. So this is the discussion about myself, as the subject, working on the tools for the purpose of reaching the object, that is to create a powerful learning community. What about the description of the objects here? Okay, in objects, class designs, and the outcomes will become the meaningful learning. I need to tell you that currently my own classes cover undergraduate courses, introduction to education last semester, and this is semester school management, 2 parallel classes. And graduate courses include teaching English as a lingua franca last semester, curriculum from planning to evaluation now. This is a master's program of English education, evaluation in English education now this semester, and then seminar proposal, 2 study programs altogether. And then what are the challenges, certainly, and how to make learning more and more meaningful? A heavy teaching load, a variety of classes, and a big number of students. And well, to tell you the truth, my challenges also take place because as FKIP, a Faculty of Teacher Education, Sanata Dharma has been trusted by the government to do a couple of things, including PPG, a professional program for teachers, and enhancement among the school principals. And I'm certainly one of the members of those activities. So too much load in my life. But again, all those things have become the tensions, contradictions, and challenges. So now, how about the relationship between I, subject, rules, and object? The rules here are not unavoidable. We cannot avoid rules. At the point, I'm good at interpreting the existing rules. Just like what I told you earlier, back to January 2020, I interpreted the rules set out by the ministry, and I'm happy to embrace that. I'm not immune to challenges as well. And I'm not good at blindly following instructions. And I'm very comfortable with that. I try to negotiate, right? So for example, I attempted to draw connections. What is meant by Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka and freedom to take accountable actions. So this is what I usually do all the time with my learning activities. What about the relationship between I as a subject and community for the purpose of reaching the object? Well, I'm good at absorbing shared values and wisdom of my study program, that's English education of Sanata Dharma, both undergraduate and the graduate programs. And I'm good at sharing own practices so as to earn meaningful feedback from others. I usually do not feel happy if I put things on my own. or put things in isolation. No, I'm not happy with that. I'm not good at that. I'm happy at bringing my own practices available to be accessed by other people. And therefore, I happily share my own practices, and I encourage others to embrace new realities, to enter uncharted waters or new territories. Because especially we cannot avoid the reality that we need to embrace. Say, for example, the technologically rich learning environment. Now, this is one of the complex issues that I need to challenge everyone here. And this is the core business. And at this point, my position with regards to the division of labor and with regard with the object, I'm very good at three things. First, embracing necessary transformations through my classes. Second, coping with COVID-19 fears. That is a healthy defense mechanism. And the third one is listening to the students, what they need, expect, feel, and think. Now let's get back to the first one. I'm happy, I'm good at embracing necessary transformations through my classes. Usually I put the, this is the belief on the part of me. I need to avoid a transmissional perspective of learning. I need to embrace informational perspective of learning. And I need to encourage and nurture transformational perspective of learning. So what does it mean? Transmissional perspective of learning comes from the behavioristic learning. Okay? Behaviorism requires a habit formation and memorization. I avoid that. I do encourage them to learn and to engage in informational perspective, which requires critical thinking skills, capability to draw connections, to question, to problematize. That's the second one, informational. This is drawn from constructivist learning theory. And I also encourage my students to engage in transformation. What is meant by transformation? This is drawn from Mesiro's theory, that's transformative learning theory. We learn, especially as adults. Successful learning among adults is determined mostly by capability to realize that we are not perfect. We need to learn that others has some parts of truth. That's the reason why we need to develop the authentic listening skills. Transformational perspective of learning means that we develop the capability of therapeutic turn. We realize that we are not perfect, and we listen to others, and we try to develop our better character. So this is, in a popular term, this is related to character education. So this is the reality, the challenges, the tensions, contradictions, and conflicts, and contestation, and ambiguities. I pick the informational and transformational by nature, and try as much as possible avoid transmissional ones. How about coping with COVID-19 fears? Well, I will call it a healthy defense mechanism, because I see three types of responses. The first one is phobia. I've seen many people trapped in the phobia. They develop the fear, sometimes too much. Well, it's not wrong because COVID-19 is so, at least was so threatening back to March, May, up to probably last September or even until now. Okay, well, I try to avoid that. And well, for some classes, I try to be at least become a survivor with my classes. Yeah, I do my tasks at the minimum level, but in the same time, when I work on my learning activities, I engage with the breakthrough. I develop at least 18 videos for my 3 classes. You can check out with my YouTube videos to ensure what I've done with that kind of breakthroughs. So in addition to that, I also try to listen to students. I usually spend my time calling my students one by one and checking in. Some students might not necessarily well prepared to receive my call because it is fair to expect for them that Pak Marcus is kind of a perfectionist guy and they are not happy probably, but we ended up creating a very powerful relationship with the students. And I listen to their needs and I listen to what they expect and I listen to what they feel and what they thought about many kinds of things. And well, certainly I'm good at engaging with kinds of those things, and you can say that all of those things are humanistic by nature because I draw a lot from the tradition of Sanata Dharma University, whose motto is cerdas and humanis, intelligent and humanistic. Okay, and certainly I'm not good at complaining, and therefore I develop self-agentic actions to cope with many unprecedented challenges. So those are my experiences, those are my realities. And currently my project, the undergoing project is, so far I've described my own struggles to make meanings out of the life encounters. And my current project is to better understand how my students perform in my classes. So, well, that's certainly what happens here. So this is my best buddy, my son, and he is always, he has always the answer for my problems. Okay, you can access his YouTube channel as well. And here we end. This is the end of my sharing. Okay, Mbak Arum, how long has I presented?
It's sharp 25 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So, sir, well, actually, what you shared just now, it's kind of a contemplation and also evaluation for me, especially by knowing about the 6, what is that, components? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, right.
Activity theory that makes me like, oh, actually, what? Yeah, we can like contemplate about what we have done so far in this learning situation. So yeah, so thank you, sir. So it's just like, yeah, a reflection.
Thank you. Yeah.
So sir, would you mind also to promote your YouTube channel probably?
Okay, I will be very happy to do it.
Yeah,
I will share the link anyway.
All right, sir. Are you working in the same YouTube channel with your son, sir?
No, we have the different channel anyway.
Oh, different channels.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe, like,
Thank
and
you for
comment.
promoting that.
Yeah. So later on, right after this event, so I will subscribe this. Yeah.
Thank you.
And don't forget to also like having like a giveaway later on, probably in your YouTube
Oh, no
channel.
worries.
Okay, this is a good idea. Thank you so much, sir. Later on, we're going to follow up this. I mean, you're sharing with the questions or probably the feedback from, I mean, yeah, comments or thought sharings from the audiences of both in the Zoom room and also from the YouTube channel. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Our third speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Dr. Deborah Tri Ragawanti, MA ELT. Dr. Deborah Tri Ragawanti, I mean MAELT, is a lecturer at the English Language Education Department, Faculty of Language and Arts, Universitas Kristen Satya Wacana. She earned her doctoral degree from Universitas Negeri Semarang and her master degree from Assumption University of Thailand. Her research interests are in the area of EFL pre-service teacher preparation and EFL teacher professional development. Besides research, she is also a teacher trainer and a journal reviewer. In this webinar, she is going to present about integrating technology for fostering learner autonomy, EFL Teachers' Voices. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Deborah Tri Ragawanti, MAELT.
Okay, thank you, Bu Arung. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is also an honor for me to be with you all here with great speakers and great participants. Yeah, Bu Yuyun and Pak Markus have comprehensively discussed learner autonomy from the angle of learners and from the angle of learners' learning activities. And now I will be presenting learner autonomy from the perspective of teachers, especially on how EFL teachers integrate technology for fostering learner autonomy. This is actually the result of my mini research aimed at examining EFL teachers' practices, challenges, and strategies in promoting learner autonomy in EFL teaching and learning contexts. Yeah, so the focuses will be teachers' practices, challenges, and strategies. And I think this presentation will be helpful for both EFL teachers or EFL student teachers and for EFL learners, because most of the participants here are also learners. So I think you are on the right place now. Yeah. This is useful for EFL teachers and EFL learners because it will provide insights on practices, challenges, and strategies in using technological tools for promoting learner autonomy. And it also provides insights on benefits of learner autonomy and encouragement on how to be an autonomous learner by using various technological tools. Okay, and here is the outline of my presentation. I will start from an introduction and then briefly explain the underlying theory of learner autonomy. And I will then describe my mini research and then present the findings and then conclude the presentation. Okay, let's start from the introduction. Yeah, why I was motivated to conduct this mini research. Yeah, the reason is because in this digital era, fast changes in information technologies require learners a series of information and skills. Yeah. some skills needed all lifelong. So in this lifelong learning, learner will be continuously learn and will be responsible for their own learning, or what we call learning throughout one's lifespan. Yeah. And how is lifelong learning related to learner autonomy? It is stated by Benson here that learner autonomy is a core value of lifelong learning. And how about the position of learner autonomy in this advancement of new technology? So the advancement of new technology provide the practical means for learners to take charge of their own learning or to do learning autonomy. So here we can see how lifelong learning, learner autonomy, and EDUTechnology are connected one and another. Okay, I will then discuss some underlying theories about learner autonomy. The first one is aspects of learner autonomy. In taking charge of their own learning, learners can take charge of determining the objective of learning, selecting methods and techniques to be used, in determining the content and progressions, in monitoring the procedures, and in doing self-evaluation. And the next underlying theory is the development of learner autonomy. Yeah. Initially, theory and practice of autonomy entered the field of TESOL in 1970s. And then in 1980s, it has undergone changes. For example, from the educational psychology and teacher development. And again, in 1990s, it has undergone a significant change as the result of educational technology. And how it is like? The changes in the field of autonomy in language education due to the advancement of technology brings about two issues. The first issue is prevalent modes of autonomous language learning. And the second issue is on the dimension of learner autonomy. Let's see one by one. Yeah. Due to the advancement of technology, there are more sources accessed through the internet, right? Yeah, and they are more widely available. And autonomous language learning is more likely to be self-directed. Yeah, self-directed, more self-directed than before. And the second issue is a dimension of learner autonomy. Due to the education technology, there was a kind of reconceptualization of autonomy in terms of the dimension. So the dimension, okay, as the influence of education technology are stated here: location, formality, pedagogy, and locus of control. Yeah. And now let's proceed to my mini research. Yeah, I conducted this mini research to 27 EFL lecturers from 9 different universities all over Indonesia, and I saw some of them here. So thank you very much for helping me with the data, Bapak Ibu. Yeah, and again, the aims of this research is to examine teachers' practices, challenges, and strategies in using technology for promoting learner autonomy. And the research instrument, I used a questionnaire in the form of Google form. And here is the findings. The findings are divided into three. The first one is, sorry. The first one is the EFL teachers' practices in using technology for fostering learner autonomy. The second one is the challenges, and the third one is the strategies. Now let's see one by one. Here is the first finding. The first findings are also divided into three. The first one is types of technology used for promoting learner autonomy. Okay, yeah. As we can see here, my teacher respondents use this for classification of technology. The first one is technological devices. As you can see here, they used laptop, computer, smartphone, and they also used LMS, learning management systems like e-learning, Flearn, Spada, Google Classroom, Schoology, and so on and so forth. And they also use web-based resources, YouTube, Mooncake, ELLO, TED Talks, yeah. And the last one, they used many kinds of web or mobile applications. WhatsApp, Kahoot, Quizzes, and then Tricider, self-developed mobile app, and so on. Okay, and the second one is the second finding on EFL teachers' practices is about the tasks. What the technology tools are used? The first one, the technology is used at the course level. Here, technology is used for the whole teaching and learning process. And usually the teacher use LMS, like Schoology, Google Classroom, or the combination between LMS and mobile or web application, like Schoology and Quizzes, Padlet, Canva, and YouTube. And they use the technological tools for giving instruction, giving feedback, questions, materials, assignment, and for students to do self-reflection or self-evaluation, and also for students to discuss with their friends. And the second one, technology is used for at the task level. Here, technology is used to empower students with particular language skills, language aspect, content, and study skills. For example, for listening, teachers used ELLO. For speaking, they used TED Talks. For writing, they use Grammarly. For vocabulary enhancement, they use Reflex. And for designing lesson plan, they use Mooncake. And for creativity, they use Canva. And for self-reflection or critical thinking, they use Padlet or Journalette. And for communication, they used WhatsApp. And for collaboration, they use Google Doc, Tricider, and Padlet. And for assessment, they use Google Form and Quizzes. So, Bapak Ibu, from this result, we can see teachers' efforts in promoting learner autonomy through the use of technology. And we also can see learning opportunities gained from the activities, opportunities to improve students' language skill or language proficiency, opportunities to improve students' knowledge and practice on learning content, and opportunities to improve students' life skills or study skills needed in this 21st century, as what Yuyun have discussed before. Yeah, okay. And the third result on EFL teachers' practices is the dimension of learner autonomy. As we can see from this chart, the activities for promoting learner autonomy are mostly done both in class and outside class. And the activities are done in a formal way. Yeah. This is the first finding on EFL teachers' practices. And now let's proceed to the second finding, the challenges of teachers in using technology for promoting learner autonomy. Yeah, from teachers who claim themselves to use technology for promoting learner autonomy, they stated that the main problem is in internet connection, and students' low motivation, and students' dependence on the teacher, and students low English proficiency. Yeah? Okay, and I will show you another other problems that hinder teachers to use technology for promoting learner autonomy. This one. Autonomy is believed to be too ambitious. So letting our students to completely take charge of their own learning is too ambitious. And the question is that whether we teachers are there yet, or whether students are there yet. Yeah. And another problem is this one, no time for developing materials for an independent learning. And the last one is guiding students is time consuming. What do you think, Bapak Ibu? Do you also have the same experience as my teacher respondents did? Yeah, we can share this in Q&A session. Okay, and the next one. To cope with the problems, my teacher respondents also propose some strategies, yeah, for more effective learner autonomy using technology. The first one is to solve the problem on internet connection. So they think that there should be support for teachers and students for internet quota. And the next strategy is teacher support, guides, and monitoring, teachers' encouragement and scaffolding, and teachers' explanation about the benefit of learner autonomy. And for teaching and learning activity, they also propose collaboration or activities that promote collaboration among the students. And also hybrid teaching, online and offline teaching. Another strategy proposed by my teacher respondents is to providing task-based teaching activities. So the activity will be authentic. The students will learn how to use language for real communicative purposes. And many of them also mentioned that project-based learning is work best for this learner autonomy, work best for promoting autonomous learning. Okay, and the next insightful idea is to integrate learner autonomy into our course, into our syllabus. Yeah, so learner autonomy cannot stand alone, but it should be integrated in our course or in our syllabus. And many teacher respondents also propose this. Use more than one platform. Use 2 or more platforms like Schoology, SDLMS, and then for web or mobile application, we can use Canva or Canva quizzes, Google Form, and so on and so forth. Okay, Bapak Ibu, I think that's all the result of my mini research, and I would like to conclude my presentation by pointing out our situation, our positions. Yeah, so there are 2 buttons here. So this is like our position now. On the one hand, we can see the benefits of learner autonomy for improving students' language proficiency, for improving students' knowledge and practice on learning content, and improving students' life skill or study skills needed in this 21st century. But on the other hand, there are quite many problems that we have to cope with. So I would like to offer a win-win solution for us teachers and students by doing these steps. The first one is let us measure our capacity in using technology, measure our capacity in implementing learner autonomy, yeah, how ready we are, and then we should also measure our teaching and learning context and then decide to what extent, in what aspect of learner autonomy we teachers can involve our students to take charge of their own learning, and in what extent, in what aspect of learner autonomy we students can learn to take charge of our own learning. Okay, Bapak Ibu, hopefully this presentation can be useful for you, teachers and students. And if you would like to share your experience in using technology for promoting learner autonomy, please do so in the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Deborah.
You're welcome.
Giving me another reflection and evaluation. Well, yeah,
Yeah, thank
especially
you.
on the teaching strategies book about scaffolding, the one that probably we often forget probably, and doing the scaffolding implementations and what building up our materials and also lesson to the learners autonomy. But actually it is very helpful, ya Bu, ya.
Thank you, Mbak.
Actually, we have questions already for Bu Deborah, but later on we are going to keep it in the question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you are still on fire to listen to our fourth speaker. We will have another inspiring talk delivered by Ms. Restu Arini, MPD. She is here to present about promoting learning autonomy through materials design. Ms. Restu Arini MPD is one of lecturer in Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris Universitas Mercubuana Yogyakarta. She has received her bachelor degree in Universitas Sanata Dharma Yogyakarta and taken her master degree at Universitas Negeri Semarang. She won several research grants from Dikti, for instance, on 2010 with research title Developing Computer-Based Vocabulary Tasks for Junior High School Students Based on School-Based Curriculum 2006 or KTSP 2006. And on 2012, with her research title Applying Contextual Approach in the Development of English Materials for the First Grade Students of Elementary School. She also actively participated in conferences and became a presenter in, for instance, International Conference on Language and Language Teaching, bringing her research entitled Video-Based Materials Designed, Flexibility and Autonomy in English for Freshmen. Wow, she's very have an expertise in the material designs, and I believe that you are so excited for having her inspiring talk, right? So now let's welcome Ms. Restu Arini, MPD.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Arum, for the very pleasant introducing. Yeah, I'm not that expert, yeah. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here to be this one of the speaker with the three experts, Bu Yuyun, Pak Marcus, and Bu Debbie. Yeah, we are going to talk about the same thing about autonomous learners in the English language teaching. Today, I'd like to share my experience. So this is based on my experience, both as the lecturer and as a mother. Yeah, I have one daughter. Now she is in the high school. Yep, she is in the grade 2, the 11th grade of the senior high school. So the idea of having this topic about promoting learning autonomy through materials development comes from when I recalled my memory when I first time became a lecturer at Maritime Academy of Yogyakarta. So soon after I graduated from my bachelor degree, I worked as a lecturer in Academy Maritim Yogyakarta. I'm sorry. At that time, it was a very unforgettable moment since I knew nothing about maritime. Yeah, I learned in the English education department, and we were prepared to teach English, general English for secondary level, not for higher education level, and not for vocational study. So yeah, that was a really great experience. I have to adapt. I had to adapt myself with the situation in the Maritime Academy, with the curriculum, with the characteristic of the students, where I didn't have enough knowledge and background for adapting and adjusting myself into the teaching English for maritime industry. I learned for about 1 year there to understand the curriculum and to find the best way that's suitable with the characteristic of the students or the cadets there. We call it cadets, taruna. And yeah, that's was I mean, what I experienced at that time really gave me a good, good input and knowledge about what actually a teacher should prepare for the teaching learning process. And then the second unforgettable moment or experience happened with my own daughter. She was desperate with her biology homework. Yeah, well, showing a very sad face. And then I asked her what happened. And then she said, I don't understand this material. I have read several times, but I still cannot understand. I'm stupid. So she kept saying, I'm stupid. Aku bodoh. Aku nggak paham. Aku nggak ngerti. Yeah. I was so sad at the time because that's my own daughter feeling very frustrated about understanding the one topic in the in the biology class. So I still remember the topic is about reproduction, and it's about I think about the plant, yeah, the structure of the plants, the leaf, branch, like something like that. So I just talked to her that, yeah, please don't give up. Don't give up. Let us figure out what happened actually. What is the difficult things? I will help you. And then I see that she got at least 5 books from the school, 5 textbooks from the school. I think 2 textbooks and then 3 supplementary materials like LKS. So I try to identify the materials and the book only. Each book discuss only 1 page or 2 pages, and it doesn't give complete information about the topic. So I have to find for another information from another book and even the LKS. So I just imagine that the high school, SMP, I guess when she was in the SMP, junior high school, she had to deal with 5 books and had to summarize what is inside the book and then try to understand and try to answer the question or the quiz from the teacher. I need quite couple hours to understand it and to find a way how to make my daughter understand. So I show them how to summarize, the summarizing skill by using web organizer, like mind mapping, Facebook, something like that. I just lead her how to read slowly and then start to move the idea into the web organizer that I have designed. So for the first time, she didn't feel enthusiastic. She kept saying, I gave up. I couldn't do that like that. So yeah, I motivate her to, okay, you can do it. Just trust me. Then I work with her for making to tell her about the study skill, the study skill for 3 days till she know how to make her own web organizer, until she know how to summarize by herself. After that, she doesn't need me anymore till now. And several days after the discussion, she asked me to take her to the bookstore to buy some like highlighting stuff below the colorful pens, because she is ready to make her own, web organizer and her own note for the difficult textbook. So I think what happened with my daughter left some questions in my mind. Yeah. How many, actually, I'm curious how many students face the same situation with my daughter, how many get helps from others, whether parents, peer, or teachers, and how many students do not get help or any assistance from others who has prior knowledge about the topic they don't understand and left with the feeling of I'm stupid, like what my daughter said before. Ada berapa yang merasa, they become desperate and then I'm stupid. I cannot understand. I'm stupid. So that's become my concern. I believe that materials development is really, really important in the teaching learning process. Okay. The background that I took from one of the source in the internet, mostly this is what happened in the teaching learning process. Teachers work hard making lesson plans, picking very good activities, even game, maybe preparing song, pictures, selecting videos and ready to teach, and expect that the students will participate well. But when we come to the front of the class, maybe most of the student or some of the students look bored, look unmotivated, and even they are not ready with the lesson that we are prepared. Or maybe the opposite also happen. The students are ready to study, very enthusiastic, and then really want to improve, but the teachers are not ready with the kind of the technology or kind of the materials like that. Yeah. One of the some of the students that I'm for the skripsi, the skripsi, when they did the preliminary study, mostly the problems, if it's not about the students feel unconfident, afraid of saying something, of speaking, being worried to be laughed by other students if they make mistake. The other is about the materials that is used by the teacher. Teacher commonly use the textbook. So when my students with her skripsi and research come with so many ideas, like making the textbooks, moving the textbook into comic by using the application, or giving the the template for guiding them to speak, so the students feel motivated to engage in the teaching learning process. So this is the common situation, that the current situation that we are facing right now. So the things that I'd like to discuss today is about learners' responsibility, teachers' role, and materials development. But I will discuss it fast, because I believe that our three experts, Bu Yuyun, Pak Marcus, and also Bu Debbie, they have discussed it comprehensively before. So I just want to go to the, more deeper to the materials development. Okay, but before we know about that one, so we have to know about the skills that the autonomous learners need. Yeah. To build the autonomy in learning, learners need to have 3 skills: to identify and set the learning goals, to plan and execute the learning activities, and to reflect. And they also have to have a knowledge of the learning process. Let I'm sorry. Their own learning process, an understanding of the purpose of learning and the strategies and skill, and of course, clear motivation to learn. Low motivation is most the common problems faced by the students. I think, yeah, again, from my experience, sometimes my students say, Miss, ma'am, please motivate me, like that. They ask me to motivate them. So I say that the biggest motivation is is the internal motivation. I can say a lot of things, but if you do not have a intention to do that thing, how can I motivate or other person motivate you? So clear motivation is also the skills that the autonomous learners need. And as a teacher, we have to know about that. And as students, they need to learn to be informed about this one. They need to know the learning goal. What is the purpose of the learning process? And how can they make their plan, their own plan to reach the goals like that? Okay, next about learner study skills. I also actually have shared the questionnaire, but there are still 22 students participate in the study skill, and I'm not ready to share this here, but we have to know that study need a skill. To study effectively need skill. And this is the 5 points, the 5 aspects, the 5 skills that the students actually should master so they can become independent learner or autonomous learner. About the concentration, time management, active listening, the ability to take notes, active reading, exam preparation, writing skills, stress management, memorization, and critical thinking. I have put the link at the end of my PowerPoint, so you may go further for just click the link to have a further explanation about each point of the study skill. Yeah, maybe for me myself, when I became a student, I never been taught develop these skills. We just learn it by ourselves, maybe imitating others, maybe from the teachers, from the activities designed by the teachers, or from the system developed by the school management. Yeah. Time management is about discipline. Yeah. It's about discipline. Yeah. When I talked to one of the Pak Istoto, yeah, he is one of the trainer in the motivational achievement like that. So I just say that I talked to him about the best way, what makes student discipline, what makes students take full responsibility on their own life. Yeah, he at that time I invite him to give like a training for the leadership. Yeah, I forget, it's a long time ago, about leadership and then about study. Yeah, being aware to become a better person as a student. And then he said that the kind of activity like going to a training, 1 day training, 3 days training, 1 week training, or we send the students to listen to a seminar, I mean, are not really effective way to make the student responsible and to make the students autonomous. But he said that it's about the system at the institution in the school. So he shared his idea that, I mean, the school must have a good management, good rules, and good regulation that should be followed by the teachers and also by the students and also by the staff. Yeah, the staff, the tata usaha, yeah, the staff, the academic staff who will give service, help the students for the academic things like attendance, maybe something like that, payment like that. So the school or the institution should make a good regulation first, and all the teachers should obey the regulation. It means that the example is when the school said that if the students or the teacher, both student and the teacher, come late for 10 minutes, it means that they are not allowed to come to the class, to enter the class, both student and teacher. And not only the students come late, but when the teacher also come late, the students have the right to leave the class. Now, by having the strict regulation, I mean the regulation that is obeyed by others, then the students, both the student and teacher, will learn about the better management, better behavior and attitude. So that's, and I agree with him. That's my experience when I take my S1 degree. I got a very good management and then strict, yeah. So maybe it really helped when I work, when I graduate and work. So I will not feel worry about being disciplined and being responsible because I had been trained in the institution that I joined before. Okay, what happened with my daughter? Maybe it's about the note taking and active reading. The note, sorry, okay. The note taking and active reading. Okay, let's continue to the teacher-learner interaction. To build the autonomous learner, we have to identify the non-autonomous and semi-autonomous and autonomous learner, and the teachers and the learners' role or participation in the teaching learning process or in the classroom interaction. In the non-autonomous learners, the teacher always tells the students. And then in the semi-autonomous learner, the teachers play 50% as an instructor, just elicit ideas, and then the students may develop, may continue the next action. But in the autonomous learner, students have their own right. Students have developed their own responsibility and maybe about things that they have to study and step that they have to take, and then when even decide when they have to execute that exercise or assignment.
Oh, Mbak Bontot kami Pak. Mbak Bontot.
Okay, can I continue? Yeah, well, about the teacher's role, yeah, we have to understand the teacher's role in promoting the learning autonomy as a managers. There are three main roles as a managers and organizer, facilitator, and counselor. So yeah, this is a tough job for the teacher because we have to manage and organize. The responsibility of the teaching learning process becomes our part, our role. And then we also have to change the role to become the facilitator, who should guide and motivate in learning. Again, motivate. And then we should be the guide to the resource, and we should be an evaluator to the result. And then the last is the counselor. We also have to open our self as a teacher for communication with the students through our confirmation and then conversation and then feedback. Okay, this is about learning autonomy and materials development. So we have to know about the roles of material in language learning. Yeah, we know that language teaching has 5 important components, and one of them is the materials, yeah, the number 3. Okay. And even Noonan said that teaching materials are often the most substantial and observable component of the pedagogy. And this is the roles of the materials as a resource as a source of activities, as a reference source for learner on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, as a source of simulation and ideas for classroom activities, as a syllabus and a support for less experienced teachers. When I become a new lecturer in Academy Maritim, I really need the textbooks because I knew nothing about maritime. So many new terms in the maritime. They use English for communication on the ship with port. Yeah, ship with port, ship to ship, and ship with the airplane, like that. So and yeah, that's why I need a long time to understand the material. I even had to study the curriculum for D3, yeah, Academy Maritim D3. So I did not only learn about the English curriculum, but all the curriculum. I studied about watchkeeping. Watchkeeping, if I'm not mistaken, itu jaga pantai. Kemudian I had to study about regulasi internasional maritim, regulasi maritim internasional tentang kalau ada kecelakaan kapal tenggelam like the Titanic, nah, who should be left on the ship? Nah, itu siapa yang harus ditinggal di kapal? Ternyata the captain should be there. Yeah, so the captain will be will be sent to the international court if he is alive while the crews are dead in the accident. Jadi kalau satu-satunya yang selamat kapten tetapi krunya meninggal, kaptennya akan kena persidangan di mahkamah internasional. Jadi lebih baik kapten is become the last person who should be saved from the incident on the ship, like that. So I had to learn all the curriculums, D3 curriculums, and then discuss with the captains there who become the practitioners there, discuss about the engineers. The engineer itu those who work in the engine department, ya, mesin yang bukan dek, ya, something like that. So I need the book. But when I studied the book, yeah, actually it didn't really give what the students need to study, what the students need to master. The book was very simple, while the competency required by the International Maritime Organization, IMO, yes, they have to be able, after graduate from the D3, the academy, they have to be able to make a communication both in written and in the oral communication, oral situation, like that. So that's why material is really important. Okay. Next, to create autonomous learners, this one, learners need to be exposed to a range of useful learning activities, and then they need to have the opportunity to evaluate their learning, and then they have to have reflection on their learning. So this is the keywords objective. Yeah, the learning objective should be determined, and then it will be implemented in the content, useful learning activities, and the students should know, both student and teacher or lecturer should know about the evaluation, and both student and teacher should be able to have a reflection. So this is teaching materials. And then the characteristic of the autonomous learners, proactive, motivated, should be built or should be developed from the learning activities that the teacher will design. The characteristic about the self-awareness will be built from the evaluation session or assessment, And then the reflective characteristic will be developed from the reflection after or during the teaching learning process. So we can call it a self-access materials. For the institution, school or the university that have a language laboratory, they can actually provide students with self-access materials. But what if the place where I work, the school where I teach doesn't have a language laboratory? So let's make it simple. We just need to adjust and to use uh, what uh, what is provided around us. We don't need to force that. We have to build the language laboratory. Just use any kind of the application that can also be used by the students. If the students can got difficulty to access Zoom every week, okay, let's move to WhatsApp group. If the students has limited, quota for having Google Meet, okay, so we just need to discuss a bit, or we can have a half 50-50 discussion, 30 minutes in the Google Meeting virtual conference, and then 30 minutes in the WhatsApp, or 20 minutes in the Google Meeting or Zoom, and then the rest will be discussed on the WhatsApp. We can also use video call with the students, contact them, and then to force them to speak and practice their English, because when they just type, express the idea in written in WhatsApp group, I'm afraid that they will not practice their spoken English like that. We can also check their pronunciation and vocabulary and also their confidence too. Okay, so this is what the sample that I try to have in my class. My last year class drama. I teach drama. Okay, so students should be exposed to useful learning activities. The first, we have to give the students the clear objective. Students need to get familiar with the syllabus and lesson plan. So lesson or kontrak perkuliahan, kontrak belajar, we discuss it together, make sure that students understand about what are required from them from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. Make it specific, like what kind of the reading activities, and then what kind of the performance they have to prepare every week, and then what kind of is there any writing or another assignment. So I try to make it, although here I just cut from the complete lesson plan, because the objectives are at the top, not in the course timetable. So students know that on the week 3, they have to read some materials about character types, maybe watch videos about how to express feeling and emotion. And then in the class, they are going to acting about some expression and feeling like anger, sad, like that. And then in the writing, they have to analyze the character provided by the lecturer.
Sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
1 more minute.
Okay. So this one, I will go fast. The clear instruction, I think for teacher, instead of describe this person, so it's better to give a guideline for the students. How do you want the students to describe that person? Please mention their physical appearance, their jobs or something like that. And then, okay, this is the, reflection, one of my students, ma'am, I cannot finish it, I leave now one number, and now I know reading habit is necessary. Lack of reading makes me difficult to answer the question in short time. So this is a kind of like reflection from the discussion that I send privately using the WhatsApp. If the formal reflection, we can provide some checklist like this. at the end of the unit for our topic. Yeah. And then don't forget to document all the teaching activities, teaching and learning activities. We need a system, like maybe you can use Google Classroom or another application that Bu Debbie has mentioned before. Yeah. Okay. So the closing from me, we know that learning autonomy is not only the teacher's responsibility, but it has become a system. Yeah. Teachers, students, school, and parents, and also government. But still, when we conduct the teaching learning process, it becomes, the teacher will become the key element in promoting learning autonomy. Okay, thank you very much for the attention. Hopefully that what I have shared and my experience will be insightful for Bapak Ibu semuanya. Okay, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Bu Restu, for sharing your real experiences in classroom towards this learners autonomy situation, and also regarding with the online class situation as well. And now I know that actually for being a teacher or being a lecturer, so it's a really a tough job. But just like what Pak Marcos said previously, so we have to embrace and yeah, facing the challenges. Thank you, Bu. Ladies and gentlemen, so I would like to thank for all speakers for their informative and interesting talk. And now we come to question and answer session. You can type your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute your microphone and deliver your questions directly. So you can also have the live question and answer session. Please mention your name and state to which presenter you address your questions. And I have seen several questions in the chat box here. But I also would like to invite participants joining this webinar through YouTube live streaming to participate in Q&A session by typing your questions in the chat box in YouTube. We have the committee who will be ready to help you as well. So no worries that later on your questions will be also sent to the speakers here. I found a question addressed for Ibu Yuyun. So seems that there are participants here are excited for having a further discussion with you, Bu. So actually,
Thank
we
you.
have a question from Binti Aisyah dari Linguistik Terapan UNY, Bu. Pertanyaannya, Bu, tidak semua siswa, apalagi novice learners, punya metacognition atau diantaranya kesadaran strategi belajar mana yang sesuai dan tidak sesuai untuk dia. Bagaimana mengatasinya berkaitan dengan autonomous learning ini? Perhaps Bu Yun would like to answer these questions from Ibu Binti Aisyah first.
Thank you, my dear. Ibu Aisyah, I guess, yeah, her calling name. Well, Ibu, I think this relates to what we call by individual learning, in which, let's say, we have 30 students. Yeah, of course, they have also different what we call by, Howard Gardner, with the multiple intelligence. Some of them, for example, they like on linguistics, and then some of them they like, for example, on the interpersonal, intrapersonal, natural, and also other intelligence. But if I may suggest you, I think that will be great, if you you create such activities promoting or providing or revealing, let's say, various language learners. this is not easy. I believe this is not easy, but to be like, I think the best teacher is the one who is inspiring. Yeah. And we already also learned from other speakers how to motivate our learners to become autonomous learners or independent learners. And my suggestion, I think also I already typed in the chat box that please vary our activities. And then of course, in this one, the inspiring teacher is, or who inspires. Be a facilitator and have interesting activities. And to me, the most important one is that um, how we provide our activity by having, for example, something interesting, if I may say. It's like discovery learning. I guess, Ibu, perhaps you already understand, or you already perhaps also implements various projects you can learn from, or you can provide, facilitate students to have their project based, their discovery learning, their problem based, any inquiry based, any activities promoting, let's say, the multiple intelligence for your students. Again, the point is not, it's easy to say, but it's difficult to create. But I believe Pak Marcus always saying that, well, nothing is impossible. Am I right, Pak Marcus? Nothing is impossible. So if I can say again what I think I already quote also from Dewantara, saying that memerdekakan anak itu menghamba diri pada anak. That's the best, I guess, ya. Menghamba diri pada anak. We do not ask, let's say, a right or students' right, but we try to balance, let's say, between right and also obligation in this case. So please, Ibu, have interesting activities, have a challenging one, and this one, Mbak Arum, I sometimes, always say to my beloved friends, yeah, in class, this one. Please, the point is that before you make your students love English, the first one is that please make your students love you first. That's the point. How to be a lovely or the beloved one for your students. I think, yeah, so many things, we try to close to our students that previous one, or some teachers previously, they think, for example, well, look, I'm a teacher and you are a student, or you are a student and I am a teacher, for example, and there is a gap. Itu kan dulu, the previous thought, or I can say that the old one, and now the time already changed much. Well, I think that is for my response to Ibu Aisyah. And can I go on to the next one, or should I wait for others? What do you think?
Yeah, Bu.
Okay. Seterusnya ya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, we have another questions, but probably we are going to keep it later on.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bu. Because another question is coming to Pak Marcus, to Mr. Marcus. Seems that Mr. Marcus is already answering the questions in the chat box, but I think that it's gonna be better if we lively hearing the further discussion from him.
Okay.
To answer Ibu Tri Evayani question.
Yeah, yeah, Mbak Arum. Yeah, that's good. I hear my previous student saying that. Okay, Mbak Arum. So, Ibu Eva, you asked me related to how whether it is possible to code switch, right, to use Indonesian or English. Well, that's a very good question. Here's in the phenomenon of language teaching, there is a new term right now. We call it translanguaging. Translanguaging is a phenomenon of utilizing both target language and our native language in a dynamic way, meaning to say that it is okay to utilize different systems of language. And I've sent you the link of Professor Roberto Guzman from Puerto Rico. He is a fun guy, speaking both Spanish and English. And it's okay for him to hear Spanglish, Spanish English in his classroom. And in this TED video talk and TED Talk, Professor Roberto Guzman clearly demonstrates how the translanguaging applies well in his classroom. And he even claims that he teaches English without teaching English. Sounds paradoxical anyway, but that's what happens. That's how students of his who happens to be reluctant to learn English, and they end up being very skillful in English because they focus on the contents. And sometimes the movement from the Spanish into English and English come back to Spanish, that kind of flow, and also without feeling being judged negatively by the lecturer, has been a very powerful learning experience. So Bu Evayani, why not having that kind of same experience? That's my suggestion. So make sure that you also watch the very interesting video that record her speech. And the second question, I would assume, has come from Mbak Novi, right? So Mbak Novi asked me about how to develop the students' quote-unquote autonomy, right? Giving extra time to listen to what students need and think, how to deal with such a situation. Well, to tell you the truth, what we do as a lecturer, as a teacher, has come largely from what we believe to be true. And I told you very strongly that I drew much of the energy of the belief systems as teachers as from the humanistic perspective from Sanata Dharma University. It's exactly like what Bu Yuyun has informed us about the love of students. I mean, we need to love students more and more. Mencintai peserta didik, right? Because it is the way we embrace the spirit of learning. And probably I wouldn't be, I mean, some of us found, some of you may found, my way of addressing my students is a fancy one. Okay? My way of addressing my students and also dealing with the complexities with my students becomes too much, and many teachers are not able to do what I do. Don't worry with that. You cannot force yourself to follow others, but I believe that you will have your own way You will have your specific ways of dealing with certain things. Now, it depends on your true identity. I am kind of extroverted person, and I love to talk to many people, and I'm very good at dealing with many kinds of people. So I'm comfortable with that. Some teachers are a little bit introverted. So some teachers are not comfortable being so outward, being so outward looking, something like that. It doesn't mean that those introverted teachers cannot perform well. They will find out better ways to address and to find good ways to deal with their own students. So here, when you study the concept of teacher identity development, Novi is a magister program pendidikan bahasa student, so I believe you know very well the class from Pak Kuswandono, right? And the point is, be yourself. I know my way of learning, I know my way of addressing my students, and I love the way what I do. I believe you have your own ways, and teachers are usually very creative in finding ways to deal with the students in a more relevant way. So that's my response, and thanks a lot. I think I have addressed all two questions.
Excuse me, Mr. Marcus.
Yeah.
May I ask something? Okay.
Yeah, please.
It's about my question about the language. I mean, can I share the link of my material on certain topic in both version, in Indonesian and also in English? Or should we force them to translate it and comprehend the English material themselves, or should we prepare the Indonesian version of the English lesson material? That's what my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Tri Evayani. So, the focus of learning is meaningfulness, Ibu. That's the core issue. So, which one is more meaningful, right? And I think you are the only one in the class to know very well. If you later take some time, what Roberto Guzman has informed us, then you know exactly what my point is. So you, as a professional teacher, is the only, or you are the only adult in the room, right? You know what to do. You can decide what is best, because the idea of professionalism is because you are responsible, you are accountable, and you can be dependable. So just follow that procedure, Ibu. And I believe that is what should happen. So you are going to be relying on your capability to decide what is best for your students. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Marcus.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marcus.
You are very welcome, Ibu. Yeah, you have a very powerful questions, and I like your questions so much.
I also noticed here that Ibu Tri Evayani has a question to Ibu Deborah, right, Bu?
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's about, can you explain more, Bu Deborah, about the difference between Google Form and quiz?
Quizzes, I mean, is it quiz or quizzes? Quizzes, yeah.
It is written here. Oh, yeah.
Quizzes, Ibu?
Yes, quiz, not quizzes. Quiz from Google, yes.
Oh, yeah.
We can find quiz and new form. So what's the difference? It's a little bit confused about both of the forms. Yes.
Yeah. To be honest, Ibu, I'm not. I don't know about quiz that you mentioned, what I know is about Google Form and quizzes. So probably some participants or presenters here can help me to explain the quiz. If this is about Google Form and quizzes, yeah, I can tell you about the difference. Yeah. So as far as I know, Google Form is can be used for assessment, but not only for assessment, it can also be used for doing survey. Yeah, but I'm not sure about quiz. But for quizzes, what I know is the speed of doing the quiz is recorded. Yeah, and the score will be put in the rank order. Yeah, so the one stated in the finding, my finding is quizzes, not quiz. So I'm sorry, I don't know what quiz is about. Probably other participants can help Ibu Evayani to know what quiz, how quiz is different from Google Form. I'm so sorry, Ibu.
It's okay.
Probably Bu Yuyun or Pak Markus or Bu Restu would like to add something.
Or probably Pak Daniel.
Or Pak Daniel
the expert of technology.
In technology.
You can listen to Pak Markus, Ibu Yuyun, and Ibu Restu maybe, who are resourceful as well.
Okay, so in terms of instrument, I think it should, I share the same understanding with Ibu Deborah, it's quizzes. Quiz can be done through Google Form, right? But quizzes is a name for the application. Ibu Tri, probably you need to clarify, is it the quiz as a data gathering technique or quizzes as an application?
Quiz is as a data gathering technique. That's what I want to know about the difference between, because here I've been learning about making a form for my students for assessment. I mean, for their assessment to examine their or to have reflection from them.
Right.
Which one is more proper or more appropriate, that which one to give what the result of the evaluation. I mean, that's if I have like ulangan harian, so which one is better, using quiz or using form?
Okay, so here's the case. Ibu Deborah, may I answer?
Yes.
Sure. Okay, so this is my understanding, Ibu. Technology utilization is very interesting, right? If you ask a question, what is the most efficient and most appropriate? This is, sometimes there is no right or wrong answer, unfortunately, because what is best for me may not become the best for you. So I think the answer is at the level of our own experimentation. You practice a couple of times, a couple of applications, and you need to find the best and that serve you. So I would assume you will find out what is best for you because you practice it over and over again. So again, the acquisition and the utilization of technology has come from my preferences. That's my own way of learning. And usually when I convince my students, oh, this is the best, come on, and I do it over and over again, and my students come to buy or subscribe my beliefs, okay? Sometimes it sounds, when you apply a particular technology or application, sometimes you feel a bit uncomfortable. But the more, it's like when you learn how to drive a a bicycle, Ibu, right? You were stiff at the very beginning because you were afraid, and you will focus on the front wheel, right? But it was wrong. You need to focus 10 meters, 20 meters in front of you. You will not get focused on the wheel, but you focus on the road. Now, in order to do it, you need to practice. So, Ibu, again, it is related to your being a professional teacher. You are the author of the reality in your class because you are the only adult in the room and they trust you. Okay, so this is the motivation that I think comes from me, and I believe that you need to go to that far. You need to believe that nobody is or has the capacity to instruct me because I'm the one responsible for that. That's, I think, the underlying beliefs that I want to share. So that's my response, Ibu. Probably Ibu Deborah want to add more.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Marcus, for the insightful opinion, Ibu Evayani. I may add about the quiz. Yeah. Okay. Again, the quiz is a kind of assessment, and for doing the assessment, as what Pak Marcus explained before, we need to consider several things. The first one is our students, and the second one is the access to internet, for example, whether the students have good access or limited access to the internet. And for using technology, we also consider low-tech and high-tech technology. Low-tech is the ones more accessible for our simple tools that is more accessible for students. So if, for example, our teaching and learning context is in a good way to access internet, we can use Google Form, and Google Form is good for our students to have time doing the quiz through multiple choice and also short answer and long answer. So I think this is also easy for them to do it through the link shared in WhatsApp, for example. And if you want to challenge your students, you can use Quizzes, another web application. Quizzes is challenging, especially for elementary school students, junior and high school students, because the speed of doing the quiz is recorded, and the score will be put in the rank order. So usually the students get a challenge to do the quiz. So again, Ibu, there are many more applications that you can use. But if, for example, the teaching situation is in a kind of remote area, what I see in some remote area, the teachers usually ask, provide questions in WhatsApp group, and then the students will answer it in a sheet of paper, and then they take a photo and send it to VA. Okay, so again, which one is more convenient and suitable to your teaching and learning context? Yeah, you can do so. Yeah. So this is what I can say, Ibu. Hopefully it answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Bu.
You're welcome, Ibu.
Yes.
The speakers and also Budira Evayani. And we have also another participant here, Ms. Putri Maharani, who would like to having the live questions to the address speaker here. So, Ms. Putri Maharani, would you mind to turn on the webcam and also turn on your microphone, please?
Yes, Miss Arum.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, long time.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Arum, for the occasion that you've given to me. And now coming to the first questions that I would like to ask to Mrs. Yuyun. All right, Mrs. Yuyun, good morning.
Hello, how are you? Good.
Okay. Well, in your final table, that was mentioned the aspect of communication and collaboration. But however, I didn't see that there was any challenges that you mentioned there. But in fact, if we witness to the current phenomenon that happen in our education sector, competitiveness among the students and low motivation among them often becomes the hindrance for them to establish students interaction. That as a result, they produce a low quality in their academic. So, Mrs. Yuyun, how do you see this phenomenon? And the second question goes to Mr. Marcus. All right. When it's believed that during this tough pandemic era, we have to embrace the tech as the way out, that we have to improve the quality of our teaching and learning. But some cases, I found that even the lecturers are restrained themselves from using technology, and due to their less comprehensions on the utilization of technologies, they often become reliant to the students, for example, in doing Zoom-based learning. And because of this, it is also burden for both students and lecturers to proceed with like a disruptive or flip model classroom. So, Mr. Marcus, in your point of view, can research sectors solve this? Because most of the problems in the utilization of technologies see the students as the object. But is there any probability or any opportunities that we see the lecturers themselves as the subject of the research? Okay, so the third questions for Mrs. Deborah. And when we are talking about the tech-based learning autonomy system, it is undeniably that we also witness some hindrance in remote area. So what I mean this is, with the limit of technological facilities in some certain areas, can research sector offer a specific breakthrough that can also promote disruptive learning style like that? And the last question is for Mrs. Arini. Through the intervention of syllabus, when we would like to make something such as which Mrs. Deborah called as scaffolding, we often find it that some certain method cannot match with some certain students, and this has become a hassle, especially when we conduct a large size class. For example, with a certain class that contains at least 30 students. So how do we cope with this? Thank you so much.
Wah, diborong semua ini. Wah, Mbak Putri, you are great. Thank you. Sorry, can I begin, Dok?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the questions. And if I may share, can I, yeah, please? I would like to share you the data. Well, it all happens when we collect data and when we categorize the data. So let me show you. So in this case, for example, for the creativity, and we divide, let's say, to two, yeah, the challenge here and the opportunity. Let me give you an example. It is frustrating me. And then because many things happened for me during the COVID-19. So, well, based on the data again, so many things happens, like I feel online learning is not effective. Even some of them also saying that I'm crazy about online learning. That's challenges. But again, because of the challenges, then they try their best to, how they cope with the solution. So well, I cannot say that, for example, me, myself, I already do my collaboration, my creativity, but how the students here, they struggle themselves to understand or to get, let's say, the access of internet. So, they go somewhere and, well, so many things and opportunities, at the most, the conclusion is that they have been doing so. I mean, the 21st century skills, though perhaps they do not really think that, okay, this is what we call by collaboration or communication, but they do, and the creativity, when at the time the assignment is that I asked them to create, a video and then saying that their experience learning functional grammar. Functional grammar is perhaps you also notice that's about systemic functional linguistics. That's about, let's say, the rules, the formula, but then they are so happy and, they are so creative. So they put technology and then they put also their togetherness to finish the assignment. So in short, my dear Mbak Putri, though challenges or hindrances are faced, but to be agile learners, they do many things. So that's my point. And competitiveness, well, it is necessary, but how, let's say, to have our awareness of how we develop our 21st century skills, I think that will be more the point, rather than competitiveness. So like the thing that I already shared to you, the activity or the task that we provide our students, we facilitate our students to learn, why not having like problem-based, project-based, discovery learning, or I think Bapak Ibu Guru mostly already understand the terms of TPEC and then higher order thinking skills and forces also. Sometimes, well, I do understand, but then how I can reveal my understanding in the form of activities, in the form of task. That's our job. All right. So, that's it, I think I can share to you, Mbak Putri. Thank you for your great questions and all the best for you.
Okay, hopefully it is answered, Mbak Putri. And I believe that it is answered, with a clear discussion. So we can come to the response of Pak Markus.
Well, I did get the question very clearly, Mbak. Can you express in one more sentence, Mbak Putri?
Yes, sir. All right. When we believe that this era should be the chance for us to embrace the technologies in our class learning.
Right.
All right. But in fact, that there are also happening to some lecturers that restrain themselves from the utilization of technologies. And this is also become a hassle for both students and lecturers. So, for example, if we pass it ourselves as the students, what can we do with this? How can we cope with this problem? And can research sector pass it the lecturers itself themselves for as the subjects of the research, so we can deal with these challenges? Because most of the research often highlights the students as the subject in this matter. Thank you.
Okay, so what I have presented is my personal investigation, right? It's my own investigation of my own practice. That's partly answer your question, right? So partly it's there when the lecturers become the research subjects investigating own, and I believe there are other researchers doing the same thing, but not necessarily available right now. Okay. So far, that's my answer because the time doesn't allow me to explore more, I think, because we are scheduled to finish at 12, right? Yeah, we keep talking, exchanging phone number if you are interested in working on that later. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
And later on after this, probably Mbak Putri can have a further discussion with Pak Marcus. And also we're going to have the third responses from Bu Deborah.
Yeah, similar to Pak Marcus. I'm sorry, Mbak Putri, I couldn't catch your question clearly. So can you please restate your question?
Yes, Mrs. Deborah. With the limit of technologies in some certain remote regions, is it possible for certain research sector to offer a breakthrough that also promote disruptive classes?
Yeah, okay. This is what we need to anticipate in promoting learner autonomy using technology. In the case of my topic today, we teachers need to be aware of this limitation. We need also need to be aware of certain teaching and learning contexts which are not good in terms of access, yeah, internet access, for example. So what we can do is again to see this limitation and then decide in what aspect of learner autonomy we can promote. So we are not going to be idealistic in promoting all aspects of learner autonomy to our students, or among the six or seven aspects of learner autonomy, we can choose which aspect we can do to promote our learner autonomy. For example, in a remote area who has no good access to internet, probably we just do kind of self-assessment, like self-reflection through WhatsApp, only that assessment, or probably in about this one, collaboration. We ask our students to communicate with other students through WA. So we are not going to be very idealistic in fostering all aspects of learner autonomy to be done by our students. So this is what I can say, Mbak Putri. So the key is to compromise with our teaching and learning situation. But it doesn't mean that we stop fostering students to be autonomous. No, just being compromised and do whatever we can do to promote learner autonomy based on our teaching and learning situation or context. That's what I can say, Mbak Putri.
Okay, so actually Mbak Putri has another question for Ibu Restu Arini. However, since the time limitation, so we would like to apologize that probably later on, right after this webinar, so you can contact Bu Restu Arini privately for having the further discussion about your questions. Thank you so much, Mbak Putri, for your participation. Ladies and gentlemen, so we come to the end of the session of this webinar. It's very nice to see all of you once again, and we hope you have been enjoying yourself at the webinar so far. Excellencies, distinguished speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we have had productive and inspiring time together. And at this event about to come to the very end, I hope you found the presentations of this webinar are informative and helpful. As a gentle reminder, please fulfill the exit ticket which has been shared in the chat box. The exit ticket, you will get the e-certificate. By fulfilling the exit ticket, you will get the e-certificate and also the materials. And also for the certificate and the materials will be landed safely to your email in within 3 days. And if the links probably is not working yet, later on, our committee will fix that soon so that you can find that link works properly. We are going to keep in context about that matter in the WhatsApp group. To conclude today's webinar, in promoting learners' autonomy, we need to provide the right strategies like choosing the right activities, kind of discovery learning, and also interesting topics, media like Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and the students to have the learners' autonomy. In this virtual learning environment, we can also refer to the activity theory by Vygotsky, and this theory includes 6 components which are interrelated, such as tools, subject, object, rules, community, division of labor. And by having these 6 components, teacher will find a good way to deal with their own students. And also, in this pandemic situation, and also to promote learners' autonomy, so teacher and students need to measure their own capacity, and for teacher they need also to measure their teaching and learning context, then decide to what extent or in what aspect of learners' autonomy the teachers can involve the students to take charge of their learning, and also to what extent or aspect of a learner's autonomy students can take charge of their own learning. Furthermore, in promoting the learner's autonomy, so a good collaboration between schools, institutions, teachers, students are needed. Now, before we close this webinar, my friend, Mr. Daniel, will help us to take a picture together here. So, Mr. Daniel, would you mind to help us in capturing this precious moment together? Would you mind to turn on your camera to all the participants and also the distinguished speakers and the Excellency, the Vice Dean of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Mercu Buana Yogyakarta, Bapak Agustinus Hari Setiawan.
Okay, so I would like to start from the first slide. Yeah, everybody, please turn on your webcam. Okay, wait a moment. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We have 6 slides currently. Okay, I will go to the second. Okay, everybody, please turn on your web camera. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Next, for the third slides, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the fourth. 1, 2, 3. The fifth. Okay, and the last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Bu Arum.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for helping me. So now we will close the webinar and I would leave you with the first using bahasa. Jalan-jalan pakai masker. Jangan lupa sering-sering pakai hand sanitizer atau mencuci. Sebentar lagi bulan Desember. Bapak Ibu, jangan lupa join ELT Sharing Session 4.
Okay.
We'll have another ELT Sharing Session 4 in December. We will gladly inform you about the exact date and time of the upcoming webinar. Thank you, and thank you very much to the distinguished speakers, to all attendees.
Thank you, Mbak Arum. Thank you, Pak Daniel.
Thank you, everyone. We love you too, everyone.
Thank you, Bu.
Congratulations.
My all dear sama-sama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For
all participants.
Bu Yun will go with Yayan Ruhian.
Yeah. You still keep your question. Lah iya. Oke, terima kasih teman-teman untuk kesempatannya. Saya
semoga bisa ketemu lagi ya.
Bu Debbie sehat selalu.
Kita melanjutkan ke PPG ya Bu ya.
Semangat Pak.
Ya, sukses, semangat. Oke, bye-bye.
Terima kasih Pak Markus, Ibu Yun, Ibu Budira, Ibu Restu.
Ya, sama-sama Pak
Arum.
Semuanya, thank you Pak.
Bu Arum, Bu Restu juga.
Thank you Bu.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Sehat selalu.
Sehat selalu semuanya.